Hello there and welcome to another live chapter reading for Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Today I shall be reading from Nite via Exit Strategy by C.L. Schneider. Chapter 1. If I was 5 seconds faster, the hit would have struck my scales and knocked the man's delicate flesh, shredding his jugular with a slap of warm blood across my face. 5 seconds and I would have pushed him clear of the Wendigo strike, sparing him the creature's wrath. 5 seconds. Another swipe dissected his chest. His twitching body fell into mine. Ghosts escaped his dying soul, puddling dark on the ground as I lowered the man to the street. Another one I couldn't save. Time has become my enemy. Wiping the spray from my mouth with an angry hand, I released fire with the other. Flame erupted to light the night, kissing the towering creature's impressive set of antlers as it twisted clear of my shot. Damn it! Despite its ungainly 10-foot frame, the beast was fast and limber. I raised an arm to block its responding swipe, but the Wendigo's lengthy fingers extended like branches along its claws to reach past my defence. One scored the plates along my jaw, another ripped through my curls, tearing out a clump of strands. You son of a... I punted the Wendigo back with the smouldering open palmed hit to the chest, sending its flailing body soaring into a pile of flaming wreckage. Impact shot a twinge up my arm, devolving my angry cry into a moan. It hurt, but collateral damage was to be expected. A Wendigo's bones rose close to the surface under a thin layer of crepey skin, wrapped with the cords of tough brown leathery hide, thick and hard as concrete. Shaking off the discomfort, I spun at the sound of heavy footfall. 2 more creatures were converging on my position, skeletal jaws parted, bearing crowded rows of fangs discoloured by their last meal. Their spindly legs were bringing them too close, too fast. A quick scan of my surroundings sparked an idea, and I ran. Vaulting up the side of an overturned delivery truck, I rebounded off and drove my fist down on an elongated snout, gripping the head it was attached to long enough to stay airborne, kicking a second creature back as I landed between them in a crouch. I helped myself to the dislodged bullet-ridden stop sign on the street beside me, and came up swinging, slamming the metal pole into the legs of my nearest opponent. Its hefty body hit the asphalt. With a twirl of the sign and a lunge, I jabbed the end forward like a sword, puncturing the creature's stomach with a bust of dark blood. Another moved into range. I retracted my makeshift weapon and pivoted. The approaching Wendigo turned my thrust aside with a fast sweep of its arm, nearly knocking the signpole from my hands. Shoring up my grip as the creature swiped again, I spun past and swung back, digging the octagonal edge into its shoulder. Swiftly giving it no chance to retaliate, I yanked the metal out and went for the prize, the impressive bony rack atop the creature's head. With a winded cry of effort, I smashed the sign into the Wendigo's antlers, shattering them on contact. Broken fragments, yellowed by age, rained onto the street. Exposed roots bled, stripping the creature's stunned face as it dropped to its knees with an agonizing bray. I didn't grasp the exact correlation between a Wendigo and their intricate bony protrusions, but I knew they spent their entire lives growing them, and the nerve endings were ultra-sensitive. It was the one injury guaranteed to stop the bastards in their tracks. Unfortunately, it came with a hitch. The traumatic wound caused the creature to release a unique mortal sound, easily recognised by other of its kind as it was now. Answers came quickly, resonating through the surrounding dark streets. The volume of the eerie overlapping lamentations said their numbers were greater than I hoped. Taking comfort in their commiseration, the maimed Wendigo fell quiet, its body slumped, trembling and dazed, utterly debilitated by the loss. I kicked it over without a flinch of reaction. In this moment the beast posed no threat, neither was it dying. Such a blow wasn't fatal to its species, yet a Wendigo mutilated in such a manner was never the same. Emotional damage from the loss would trigger a manic need for revenge, forcing it to fixate on slaughtering the cause of its humiliation. If I let it live, the creature would forsake all else to hunt me down, including the hunger of its offspring. I had enough enemies gunning for me. I wasn't adding a psychotic Wendigo to the list. With a hard thrust, I rammed the sign pole through its throat. Stepping back, I blew out a weary breath. Pushing the curls off my forehead, I looked up to find red eyes sparkling, watching me between 2 cars. Come on then, I don't have all night. You're not the only monster in town, not by a long shot, I muttered, fixing my stance as the creature revealed itself. Standing to its full height, the Wendigo threw back its head and released a series of raspy neighs and screeches. There was eagerness in the sound as it called to its brethren, excitement at discovering this vast new hunting ground. Most of its species knew nothing of this world. What few crossed successfully into the human realm never returned home to report on this lush land, teeming with soft prey. The guild made sure of that, until now. Now, my former organisation, the one protection the linked worlds had against the creature incursions, was nowhere to be found. They walked away from their duty and let containment fail, allowing in a full-blown invasion of species from multiple worlds. The question was why. Was it an accident or a choice? Had Earth been deemed a lost cause? Not if I can help it. After a moment of posturing and staring me down, the Wendigo shoved one of the empty cars to the side. The vehicle slid effortlessly across the asphalt to collide with another. I might have been impressed if it wasn't one of those lightweight electric cars that's smaller than my couch. I frowned and spread my arms in a definitive "that's all you've got" gesture. In response, the creature stomped over and lifted the car off the ground, flipping it into the air. Sparks flew, metal dented, mirrors broke and went flying as the vehicle bounced over one roof after another, tumbling over the pilot between us and heading straight for me. I ducked going flat as the electric car sailed over my head and crashed into the corner store behind me. Wood, glass and sheetrock gave way, spewing fractured pieces and a heavy shower of dust. As the ruckus settled, I lifted my head. The car was embedded sideways in the front entrance. "Okay," I coughed, choking on the thick air. "That was impressive." The Wendigo turned and ran away. Watching it, I blinked, struck immobile by the strangeness of the movement as the lumbering creature sprinted down the middle of the street. It resembled a loping vine-wrapped tree with its elongated form and ropey hide, as it hopped like a track star over an upended hot dog cart, weaving in between the maze of crashed abandoned cars, silhouetted by the flames of burning toppled buildings, tossing vehicles left and right in its wake. The scene brought back my sidekick's most recent paranoid rants, when he pointed out how close we were to chaos on a worldwide level. Casey had no idea how right he was. Thinking of him, imagining Evans showing up all the other cops on patrol with his superior monster-hunting skills, I shook off my stupor and realised the Wendigo isn't retreating. It's going to fetch its tardy friends. Son of a bitch. If it brought back the rest of its brood, my odds of walking away unscathed plummeted. I had to end this now before it left my sight. Already it was at the end of the street. Wendigo had a remarkable stride, but I had wings. I pushed them out, breaking through shirt and jacket, and leapt onto the hood of the nearest car. Running up and over, I unfurled and took to the air. The beast was in range in seconds. Fire left my hands, painting blazing twin streams across the space between us. They struck the running beast in the back, throwing it headfirst into the side of an SUV. Metal collapsed on contact. Momentum sent its lanky body ricocheting across the roof of an edge-agent sports car. The Wendigo slid off to the other side and hit the pavement with a bone-rattling cry. It sat where it landed, dazed and twitching, shoulders and back burned and head bleeding. One ankle was cracked, but the wound wasn't as debilitating as what I inflicted on the other Wendigo. This one would recover much sooner and come back for more. A loud creak of strained hinges drew my attention to a crumpled white sedan, 3 vehicles away from the injured creature's position. The driver's side door was opening, swinging wide with a moaning cry of metal. It came to a shuddering, crooked stop, and a woman tumbled out onto the pavement. The accident was only minutes old. The steam was still escaping from the busted radiator, drifting through a gap in the ruined hood. Buckled and pressed into the back of another vehicle, hers was the most recent addition to the train of wrecked abandoned cars stretching for blocks through the city. Slick, debris-covered streets, camouflaged by smoke and darkness and overrun with panicked drivers, had brought one car slamming into the next and the next and the next. It was my view in all directions. Wreckage. In the meantime, humans were dying. 72 hours, that's all it took to bring the human world to its knees. 3 days of coordinated explosions, blackouts and monsters pouring in through the exit had left hospitals, law enforcement and the military scrambling in every country. The plan was executed perfectly. Not the plan, Oren's plan. He destroyed it all in his misguided phoenix fantasy of rising from the ashes. In the meantime, humans were dying. My job was to save as many as possible. So far, my tally was woefully short. I hope you enjoyed this chapter reading and that you'll go check out the book. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.